Video editing is one of the hardest skill sets to master because there are so many little mistakes you can make, so many pitfalls you need to look out for that can make your edits look just cheap and make your work overall feel unprofessional. For most people, it takes literally years of practice to get to a proficient level because it takes a long time to figure out these mistakes on your own skin. My goal with this video is to save you literally years of failing and help you not make some of the most common mistakes that 99% of video editors out there make on a daily basis. Some of these mistakes are definitely going to catch you by surprise, especially the last one. So stick around until the end of this video to save yourself a lot of time and embarrassment, and let's get right into the video. So the first mistake is creating captions with little flicker gaps. Now, this is especially applicable if we are talking about short form content where we have captions all the way throughout the video. Now, if you are just using the automatic caption creation features, for example, of Adobe Premiere Pro, oftentimes it's going to have these little tiny spaces between two text layers that it generated for the captions. Now, the problem with this is that it just looks unprofessional. I'm going to pop up a couple examples here on this video. Now, luckily for you, this is a very easy fix. Before you would actually go ahead and finish your video, just make sure that the captions are all the way throughout, the text layers connect together, and you can do this by simply extending each one of the text layers until they match up perfectly. Although it might seem like a very insignificant little thing, it's going to add a lot more professionalism to your edit if you don't have these little flickers in between the text. Now, the second mistake is using low quality sound effects, aka even CapCut sound effects. So don't just start throwing in absolutely random and low quality sound effects into your project. Look for actual high quality and professional assets instead. Some of the most common sound effects that you can use to enhance your videos are whooshes, impacts, drones, risers, hits, slow motions, glitches, and so on. So what you want to do is you want to start building your own library of high quality sound effects which you can use in all your future projects. Now, for finding these actual high quality sound effects, I would recommend you to go for some of these online websites where you can pay a monthly fee and then get super high quality not only sound effects but also actual songs from them. My favorite site for this is Epidemic Sound, which I'm going to leave in the description below for you with a free trial as well. Now, the third mistake I see a lot of beginner editors make is using 100 different styles in one video. Now, when I'm talking about styles, we could be talking about different fonts, we could be talking about different colors, even just styles of editing. And what this often leaves the viewer feel is kind of just an overall feeling of unsatisfaction and also just an overall feel of amateurism in terms of the editing. So you want to try to keep your edit to fewer styles, both in terms of font, in terms of the color scheme of everything, even in terms of icons. If you're editing a short form video, don't start using completely different and unrelated styles of icons. For example, I see some people using, let's say, cartoon style icons pop-ups and then realistic ones and then super plain like actual, 2D ones. And it just creates an overall feel of, again, unprofessionalism. Instead of this, you want to have just an overall congruent and coherent style and feel throughout your entire project. This is something that's going to absolutely elevate you from the crowd and take you to that highest echelon of editors. Now, some of my favorite fonts for my brand are Montserrat. I like to use both their thin and their black versions as well, so you can play around with the different, bolder and thinner fonts as well. I also like Mont, Integral CF, and Sedora as well, but you can also just go ahead, start searching the web for all the different fonts that are out there and find the ones that really resonate with you. Now, for finding optimal color combinations for your clients or your own projects as well, you can use the complementary colors wheel or just overall any of the websites which help you to find colors that really work well together and contrast nicely against each other. Now, if you're finding this video helpful so far and you want to keep learning and you want to not only learn editing at a super high level in Premiere Pro and After Effects, but you also want to master the social media algorithms so that you can actually monetize these skills that are needed currently in this attention economy that we are living in, whether in the form of getting high-paying clients as a video editor or building your personal brand and selling your own products and services. Check out my private community in the first link in the description below, where you can learn all of this stuff for a small monthly fee and just take everything that you know to the absolute to the next level and start generating an amazing income online through your creative skill set. Now, the fourth major mistake that a lot of editors make is not easing keyframes. Whether you are using Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, or any of the editing softwares really, when you are making animations by using keyframes, you need to start easing in and out these keyframes to actually create that very dynamic and smooth feel that a lot of your favorite YouTubers have in their videos. There is a huge difference between just a very simple and basic keyframing and also an ease in and ease out keyframe. A quick pro tip for you if you want to automate this process, if you're using After Effects, is to download the Flow plugin, which will make this a lot more easy to do and just save you a bunch of time. Now, the fifth mistake is not adding eye level zooms. Now, what this means is whenever you are zooming in and out of footage of a talking head video, right? So if you're using an A-roll clip like this one and you're zooming in and out, you want to try to keep the eye level consistent even as you zoom in. This will overall make for a better viewing experience and just make your video feel like it's flowing a lot better, and it's not going to be distracting to have those zoom in and zoom outs for the viewer. I'm going to show you two examples right here on this clip. So once we will zoom in and out by keeping my eye level at the same level. It's probably not very distracting for you. You don't even really notice the zoom. It just makes the entire video more dynamic. And one where we don't really focus on keeping it in one level. And you can tell the difference here. It's quite big. So make sure to keep the eye level consistent all the way throughout the video, even when you're doing your zoom in and zoom out. A pro tip here is to use the proportional grid to make the editing process easier for you in this case. Now, the sixth mistake is not having good contrast between the background and the elements you are using. This is another very common one. If you have an existing dark background, don't use black icons or black text against it. Even if you throw a white glow on it, it's not going to look very good in most cases. So I would recommend you to always make sure you have really good contrast between the elements you're using and the background. If you have a dark background, try to use white or very close to white kind of like colors so it's easy to see it, right? If you have a very bright background or a bright shot as a whole, then use black text or something similar to that, or use a black background to the text you are using at least. So make sure that the contrast is there, and all the way throughout the video, all the elements, whether we are talking about a text layer, an actual like photo, or even like a quick animation that you created, make sure it's all very easy to see all the way throughout. And last but not least, the seventh mistake is not creating shortcuts to speed up your editing workflow. This is one of the big things that also separate the pros from your average editor. The average editor takes ages to make a short form video or a long form video, and the professionals can get that same work done even at higher quality in just a fraction of the time. So you need to start learning how to really customize the softwares you are using to your own needs and to your own workflow, and start utilizing things like presets and keyboard shortcuts as well. And this will really just speed up your editing, sometimes by even 5 or 10x. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a couple of things from it. Now you know what to look out for. If you want to keep learning, and if you want to, again, build up the skill set that you need to really succeed in today's day and age, check out my private membership club in the description below, and I hope to see you inside there. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one.